Hi everyone, my name is Morgan and I've been preparing for over 15 years. Here are my 10 biggest lessons that I've learned over those time in 10 minutes plus one bonus one. And you know what? Number 2 is probably the one that changed my outlook forever with preparedness. So let's start with number 10. Don't copy other people's preparedness. It is amazing how many people just want a copy and paste preparedness plan. The way that I prepare in my plans is not going to be anywhere close to how you prepare in your plans. Everything about preparedness is personal to you, your region, your family, household, your needs and wants, and everything. Number 9, it is not all about beans and rice. As you can see behind me, there's a ton of canned goods. I eat a lot of oats. We eat a lot of different foods in this house. We store what we eat and we eat what we store. Now, we do happen to eat beans and rice, but when I first got started, it was like people were hammering beans and rice and oats, and that was it. That's all. Oh, and wheat berries. And that was it. That's all you prepared. Unfortunately, not a lot of people want to eat that stuff, nor can they. So you need to prep the food that you and your family eat. Period. End of discussion. I am not going to go into this, well, you're going to eat whatever you have when you're super hungry. No, the point of preparedness is to prep what you eat and eat what you store. Rotation. It's a whole thing. And even if you eat beans and rice, you should be rotating it and eating it. Prep what you eat what you store. So that moves me into number 8. Rotation is everything. Eat what you store. I've had so many people tell me that the whole reason they put things in Mylar bags is so that they can set it and forget it and never have to look at it again. While yes, a lot of things will last quite a long time in Mylar bags, does that mean you should forget it? It probably is a better idea to rotate so that you have the freshest stuff available. Mylar bags do extend the lifetime, but that doesn't mean that we have to have things sitting around for 25 plus years. Eat the food. That's what it's there for. Number 7, budgets matter more than bunkers. The economy is pinching us all. And while I want a bunker and a million acres of land, that's just not in the cards for us right now. And I know that we have had land in the past, but you know, it's not in the cards for a lot of people. Your budget is going to dictate how much food and water you can afford to get each week or each month or whatever that your budget allows. It's going to dictate what type of supplies you can get and how quickly or when you can acquire it. It's going to dictate so many things. And guess what? You don't need a bunker to be prepared. Yeah, I really do want a bunker. But that doesn't mean that in the meantime, I'm going to be focusing on the budget that I have now and working towards whatever goals I have in the future. Number 6, everyday preparedness matters more than doomsday. I do talk about doomsday and zombie apocalypses and, you know, the end of times and things like that, but it's getting a little frustrating that preppers focus so hard on doomsday whenever they hear preparedness advice. Like their brain just immediately goes towards the end of the world instead of the real SHTF in front of you, which is job loss, floods, fires, hurricanes, and any other personal disasters like emergency medical, you know, all these kinds of things can personally affect you. And that's not doomsday. That is also an SHTF scenario. You know what else is an SHTF scenario? Being without water for a week. Our preparedness can help us with everyday life, as well as those blackouts and maybe extended emergencies. If this is helping you so far, be sure to hit that like button so that I know to make more no-nonsense prepping advice just like this. All right, number 5, you're going to make mistakes. Okay. So many people want to start out the perfect preparedness. There's literally no such thing. And I'm going to talk about that in number 2, which I'm getting to. But number 5, you know, what I'm talking about right now is you're going to make mistakes. Okay. I have made a ton of mistakes, but I don't really see them as mistakes. I see them as I'm looking at this and I'm going to improve the way that I move forward with my preparedness. So let's say such and such happened. Okay, that didn't really work out for me, so I'm going to change it into what it is today, right? So have to learn to adapt and change and overcome. Number 4, community beats lone wolf. I think the lone wolf mindset is kind of dying out. Gosh, I hope so. You're not running off into the woods all by yourself. I have a family. There is no way that I'm running off into the woods to have my family try to thrive in that sort of situation. I'm going to stay here as long as I possibly can. And then if I have to leave, we're going to go to a friend's or a relative's or somewhere that is going to also be secure and comfortable for me and my family. So anyway, my point is community beats lone wolf. There's power in numbers, okay? And there's also a ton of knowledge in those numbers as well. You may have a lot of knowledge, but so do all those other people. So try to get to know your neighbors. Just say hello. You don't have to tell them you're a prepper, okay? Just say hi and get to know them as human beings, okay? Being a prepper is not your whole identity. Being a human being is. Number 3, skills last longer than supplies. Oh my goodness. Okay, so first of all, I love supplies. I love gear, okay? And I think that gear and supplies go hand in hand together just like a beautiful harmony, okay? I don't know why I just did that, but they go together like peanut butter and jelly, and they are a match made in heaven. You have the gear to help support your skills. If you don't have the gear anymore, you do still have those skills, okay? So practice the skills often, regularly, at least once a month. Either practice an existing skill or learn something new or both. All right, here's number 2, something that you've all been anticipating. Preparedness is a lifestyle, not a project. A lot of people go into preparedness thinking, I'm just going to get the bags, I'm going to get the plan, I'm going to get some food, and I'm done. All right, that's, whew, I'm glad that's over with, right? That's not it at all. Preparedness is a lifestyle. It is something that is going to carry with you your entire life. It's a journey, not a race. You're going to consistently learn new skills. You're going to be eating and rotating and, stocking up on food and water and rotating all of that. You're going to learn to garden. You're going to learn to can. You're going to learn all these skills that can help you just be a little more self-reliant, not just the basics of preparedness of, stocking up on some food and water, but no, my ultimate goal for you is to be off-grid, as self-reliant with an awesome community around you, okay? That's my goal for you. And so number 1 is peace of mind is the real goal. I can tell you story after story after story of times in which my preps have come in handy and given me that peace of mind that has made my just everyday life so much better and easier, especially with a family, okay? Especially with young children, especially, when my husband is at work all day. These little things can help us. My food, I eat, it's here. I know how to cook. I am gardening so that I can be a little more self-reliant. I'm teaching my kids skills. We're learning and doing all these things and having that peace of mind that if something were to happen, whatever that may be, we can handle it because we're ready and we're prepared. It's one less thing that I have to worry about, to be quite honest. Like if the lights go out, I'm just like, well, this sucks, but okay. Like I'll pull out my generators and, we'll start cooking over the propane grill or rocket stove or whatever. Like, yeah, it's a little inconvenient, but it's peace of mind, 100%. Wait. Before you go, this is a bonus tip. Test your preps before you need them. Just a really quick story. When I was going through my CERT certification, we all had to make a bug out bag. And I was really experienced at that time. So I came in with my already existing bug out bag and showed everybody. There's this woman who had made a bug out bag, but everything that she had in her bug out bag, everything was in the original packaging. And so I went up to her and I was like, oh, have you tested any of this stuff before? She's like, nope, I've never laid hands on these things. I literally just bought them 2 days ago. She's like, I might get into it one day. And so she had just made this bag and I commended her. I was like, that's awesome. And I said, yeah, I definitely want to check out this stuff. Don't buy gear and just throw it in a bag or throw it in a closet and never look at it again. Make the time to test out that gear. And if you don't test it, you do not rely on it. That's just straight up, okay? If you do not test that gear, do not rely on it because One, when it comes to an emergency or disaster, you would have no idea how to use it. It's like the ham radio. Every time I tell people to go get their license, they argue with me. At the very least, you should know how to use your radio that you, for some reason, think that you're going to be relying on one day, right? And being able to physically use it, right, with your license, you will then know how to use the radio and reach out to people and all this stuff. That's one of the benefits of having your license. So anyway, I digress. Live on your stored food for a weekend. Flip your breaker and see how you handle a night without power. And you'll quickly spot weaknesses in your prep so that you can be better prepared. These are my 10 biggest lessons, plus that bonus one there. What's your biggest prepping lesson so far? I'd love to hear it in the comments down below. And if you want more practical preparedness without all the hyper doomsday, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, all that good stuff. Okay, conquer tomorrow by preparing today. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.